Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's begin with the session, guys. So let's start with the session. What did we discuss in the previous session? We spoke about something called as static, right? So if we have any static variables or static methods, it belongs to the class. Okay, so therefore we have to always access it with the help of class name and it will have a single copy. Whereas non-static will belong to the object and it can have multiple copies. Okay, so this is what we have seen in yesterday's session. Okay, in today's session here we are going to talk about something called as blocks. Okay, which is again a very easy topic which we are supposed to understand here. We are supposed to talk about blocks here. Okay, what are blocks here? Okay, blocks are a set of instructions used for initialization. Okay, so whenever we talk about a method, okay, what is a method? A method is a set of instructions used to perform some specific task. Okay, it's all about a set of instructions or a block of code. Okay, blocks are a set of instructions used for what purpose here? Used for initialization purpose here. Got the clarity here? And there are two types of blocks which we generally come across. What are those? One is called as static block, okay, and other one is called as non-static block here. Okay, there are two types of blocks. What are those two types of blocks here? Static blocks and non-static blocks here. Okay, and then with the help of static block, okay, we can initialize only static variables. Okay, we can initialize only static variables. With the help of non-static blocks, we can initialize static variables also and non-static variables as well. We can initialize both static and non-static. But in real time, okay, we don't, initializing static variables, we generally follow static blocks only. But with the help of non-static blocks, it's possible here, but we generally don't come across it. So static blocks are used to initialize static variables and non-static blocks are used to initialize non-static variables. Is it possible to initialize static variables with the help of non-static block? Possible, but not a good practice. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when we talk about static blocks. Okay, and how do we create a static block? Sir, static keyword, okay, specify static keyword, open curly braces and close curly braces. So this is the syntax of static block. Okay, just open curly braces and close curly braces. This is called as non-static block, meaning a block without any name is called as non-static block. And we also call this as what? Instance block. Okay, what do we call this as? Instance block. Okay, it's up to us, how do we refer it? Okay, all those technical terms here, we can make use of it in the industry here. Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks here? Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks or multiple non-static blocks? Always the execution will happen in a sequential manner. Okay, in a sequential manner, the execution is going to happen. Further clarity. So these are a few things which we are supposed to understand, but let me try to talk about it in detail here. Okay, don't worry about anything here. This is a very easy topic here, which everyone can understand. Okay, now great. So now here I'll go back to my Eclipse here. First, I'll Eclipse here. Let me create a project first. Okay, let me create a basic project. Under File, let me create a new project. Okay, and the project name is let me give it as blocks. I give the project name as blocks here. Okay, once I have created a project called as blocks, under that I have to create a package and I will create a package with any name. You can give any name. I just give the name as jspiders. Okay, so project name is blocks and the package name is jspiders. Under jspiders, let me create a class. Okay, I will create a class and the class name is demo. Okay, and what is it? And the class name is demo here. So I have a beautiful class within my program here. Okay, now done. And now I will have my main method. Okay, and I will have what? I will have my main method. Okay, now see, I have this beautiful main method over here. Okay, so great. Okay, done. So here I will just print the output as hello here. Okay, I'll just print it as hello. So now when I execute my program here, what should be the expected output? Sir, you're just executing a simple Java program. The output shall be hello here. Correct? I got the output as hello over here without any problems here. Without any problems, I got the output as hello. Correct? Now here, okay, after this entire process over here, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, I will have one static block. See, static keyword, okay, open curly braces, close. This is called as a static block. Okay, what is this called as? This is called as static block. Here I just write it as in, okay, in static block 1 here. Okay, just write it as in static block 1 here. So now here, okay, my execution will always begin from the main method. Agreed. But if there is a static block present in my program, okay, the static block would get executed first, and that is when the control will come to the main method. I told you, right, there is someone called as main method. What he does here, the execution will always begin from main method. But there is a person called as class loader now. Okay, he checks if there are any static properties. If there are any static properties, he has to execute that first. He has to load that first. Since there is a static block, that will get executed even before the main method during class loading time. So now when I execute it over here, just look at the just observe the output what I get. Did you see the observe what I got here? I got the output as in static block 1, and that is when we got the output as hello here, because the static blocks will get loaded before itself, okay, before the main method itself. What if I have multiple static blocks here? Okay, what if I'm having multiple static blocks here? Okay, so see here, if what if I have multiple static blocks, you will get the clarity here. Okay, now, so now generally speaking, okay, typically speaking here, the execution should always begin from my main method, correct? And now, okay, during the execution here, there is a person called as class loader, no? What he does, he checks if there is any static properties in my class. Yes, there are multiple static blocks. So what happens here, he has to execute all the static blocks immediately. Okay, but there are multiple static blocks. So he will always execute it in a sequential manner, meaning static block 1, static block 2, static block 3. Once all the static blocks are executed, that is when the control comes to the main method and he is supposed to print hello here. Did I get the expected output here? Yes, I got the expected process here. So this is what we are supposed to understand the respective content here. Got the clarity here? This is what we are supposed to understand. Got it here? Understood now? Great. Okay, so we got the clarity about this entire process here. Okay, now got it right? Perfect. Now here, after this entire process is done, okay, now this is what we are supposed to understand. But actually speaking, static blocks are used to initialize static variables, correct? But I haven't done any of those, okay, yet I haven't done any of those. So let me create a class and the class name is student. Okay, I'll just have a simple class and that particular class name is student here. Okay, now what I shall do in the student class is just understand. Okay, I will have a variable int age. Okay, yeah, I will not initialize to any value. I'll just declare it. Okay, now is it a static variable or a non-static variable? Sir, it's a non-static variable, sir. Why? Because we have not specified the keyword called as static, right? So therefore, I will make use of the keyword called as static. So static int age meaning I have declared a variable called as age, okay, as static variable. And we also know that the default values. If I have not initialized to any value here, the default value will get initialized. So I will have my main method, okay, wherein the execution will always begin from. So I'll tell sys out. Okay, what happens here? Static variables have to be accessed with the help of class name or directly within the same class. Correct? So I can directly write it as age or I can write it as student.age. Anything is fine here. Okay. Now here I will execute my program, and the execution should always begin from my main method. But if there is any static variables, the class loader will load it immediately. So the class loader will load this age, okay, will load this age equal to 0. Why? Because it's the default value, because the variable is not yet initialized, no, to any explicit value. So the default value 0 will get initialized. So therefore, and after loading, when the control comes to the main method, when I tell student.age here, what will be the respective output here? See, what will be the respective output? It will be 0 here because I'm not yet initialized, So therefore, it will be the output as 0 here. But now what I do, I will make use of a static block. See here, I make use of a static block, static, open curly braces, close. And here I will just write it as age equals to 10 here. Okay, age equals to 10. So here I will write it as initializing. Okay, initializing age to 10 here. So I'm just writing this particular block here. So here my execution starts from the main method, correct? The execution starts from the main method here. And then, okay, and then here what happens when I execute the program, the class loader, what he does here, he will load the static variable age to 0 first. He will load it within the memory. Then the static block has to get executed. What will happen here? Initializing age to 10 will get executed, and that 10 will get stored into a variable called as age here. So that's a static variable. You can access static variable with the help of class name or directly with the help of, directly within the same class. So you can directly write it as student.age or you can also write it as age. Both will work fine. Okay, both will work fine here. Okay, it's up to your flexibility level here. So 10 will get stored into age. What will be the age now? From 0, it became 10. From 0, it became 10 here. After that, when the control comes to the main method, when I tell student.age, okay, it's a static variable. So what is the age now? It is 10 here. So now when I execute it, just look at the output here. See, initializing age to 10. And what is the age here? 10 here. Got it? If you want to do it in a beautiful way, I can write it as age colon plus here. So now when I print it, what will be the age value over here? Age value is 10 here. Similarly, I will have one more static block. Okay. Here I am initializing to 20 here. Now quickly tell me what will be the output here. Okay. What will be the output? Will it be 10? Will it be 20? Or will it be 0? Okay. The output has to be either of one. Okay. It has to be either 10 or it has to be 20 or it has to be 0. So what should be the expected output? Think and tell me. Okay, you just need to apply common sense, guys. Okay, will it be 10, will it be 20, or will it be 0? Okay, think and tell. I'm waiting for answers. Yeah, perfect. I got a couple of answers here. Okay, so here common sense, sir. Execution will always begin from the main method, sir. But the class loader will load the class static properties first, sir. Then this age will get initialized to the variable. I mean, if the age will get initialized to 0. Then this static block will get executed, sir, because static block also will get executed. So initializing age to 10 here. So what happens? 10 will get stored into age here. So what will be the age now? 10. But we have one more static block. Therefore, even this will get executed. Initializing age to 20, 20 will get stored into age. So here I can directly write it as, see, student.age, or else you can directly write it as age equals to 20. However possible you can do it. Now from 10, the age will become to 20. So now when I try to print the age here, look at the output what I get here. Can you see here? I get the output as 20 here. Got it? Similarly, you can avoid this print statements. Okay, you can avoid this print statements. Now what will be the output? First age will be 0, then it will become 10, then it will become 20, and finally when I try to print here, the lastly allocated value, that is 20, so the age will become 20 here. Got it? So this is what we are supposed to understand with the help of static blocks. Got the clarity here? Okay. So now when I go back to the the part here, so just I'll explain it in a beautiful manner here. Just look, guys. we are supposed to, we were talking about something called as blocks. Okay. What are blocks here, sir? Blocks are a set of instructions used for initialization perspective. Okay, in order to initialize a variable's data members, we always make use of blocks here. Okay, these blocks are majorly categorized into two types. Okay, these blocks are majorly categorized into how many types? Two types. One is called a static block. What are static blocks? Again, static blocks are a set of instructions used for initializing static variables. Okay, used for initializing what type of variables? Used for initializing static variables. Okay, now got the clarity. Now here, when does the static block get executed? Sir, static blocks will always get executed before main method. Okay, when does the execution happen here? Before main method or during class loading time. Okay, during class loading time or before main method, the static blocks will get executed. Okay, what if I have multiple static blocks? If I have multiple static blocks, always the execution will happen in sequential manner. Got the clarity? So these are the certain points which we are supposed to understand when it comes to static blocks. And how do you define a static block? Static keyword, okay? Static keyword, open curly braces and close curly braces. This is how we are supposed to write or define our static block. Got it? So the only thing, you just need to understand the flow here. Okay. Once we are done with this, we're done with the static block concept here. Okay, which is a very, very simple and a easy concept which we are supposed to understand. Got it? I hope it was a very, very simple concept here. Correct? Similarly, sir, we understood what are static blocks. Correct? So just go back to my top of the screen here. Okay? So just understand what is happening. See, what are blocks here? Blocks are a set of instructions or a block of code used for initialization. There are two types of blocks. What are those? Static blocks and non-static block. Correct? And what are static blocks here? Static blocks are a set of instructions used for initializing static variables. Okay, and we know the syntax. And when does the static block gets executed? Before main method or during class loading time. Okay, before main method or the class loading time, the static block will get executed. What if we have multiple static blocks? The execution will happen in a sequential manner. Got it? So this is all about static blocks here. Similarly, we have something called as non-static block. Okay. And what is the job of non-static block? I will show it to you practically as well. Okay. Now I will have a class, control N, and I will have a class called as test class. Okay. Now in the test class here, what I'll do, I will have my main method. Okay. I will have my main method wherein generally the execution will begin from. So I just write it as start. Okay. And I'll generally write it as end over here. Okay. Start and end. So now here, sir, I want to develop a non-static block. See, open curly braces and close. If you just write an empty block, okay, without any name or anything, you just write an block without a name, it is called as instance block or a non-static block. Okay, so now here I'll just write it as sys out, okay, in non-static block 1. Okay, I'm just writing it as in non-static block 1. What will be the expected output? See, when I execute it here, sir, I get only start and end, sir. Why? Execution starts from the main method. Then there is start here, sir, and end here. Correct? If there was a static block, that would have got executed before main method. But when will the non-static block get executed, sir? Only the non-static block gets executed during object creation. Once I create an object, simultaneously, the non-static blocks also will get executed. So now when I execute the program, look at the output what I get here. The non-static blocks will get executed only when we create an object. If I do not create an object, no matter what, the non-static blocks will never get executed. Got it? So start will get executed. Now since I have created an object, simultaneously it checks is there any non-static block. Yes, we do have a non-static block. So non-static block 1 will get executed and then end here. What if I have multiple non-static blocks here? Okay, what if I have multiple non-static blocks here? It's fine. It doesn't matter here. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, so what will happen here? Okay, you have to just understand. See, now what will be the output here? I have multiple non-static blocks. See, main method, start will get executed. Okay, and since I have created an object, the non-static block should also get executed simultaneously. But there are multiple non-static blocks. So when there are multiple non-static blocks, the execution will always happen in a sequential manner. So 1, 2, 3, and once all the non-static block gets executed, the control comes back and end here. So now when I execute it, look at the output what I get here. Okay, it start in non-static block 1, 2, 3 and end here. So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to static block and non-static block here. Got it everyone? Perfect, clear. Now wait, let me do a few things here. Okay, let me do a few things here. Okay, control N. I will create a class and the class name is employee. Okay, what is the class name? And the class name is employee. Okay, now here I will have one variable int id. Is it a static, int id? Is it a static variable or a non-static variable? Sir, it's a non-static variable, sir, because you have not specified the keyword called as static, sir. Very good. So therefore, I will create an object because it's non-static. Non-static meaning the first thing that should come to your mind is, sir, blindly create an object, sir. Okay, because it's non-static. Employee E equals to new employee of. So here when I try to print, okay, so here when I try to print the ID here, what will be the respective ID? E dot ID. What should be the output? See, sir, when I create an object, okay, the non-static property will get loaded within the memory. But since it is just declared and not initialized, the default value will get allocated. And now when I tell E dot ID, the output should be 0. Why? Because the default value is 0, no sir. Therefore, the default value will be same here. Got it? Understood the process here. Now, what is happening with this respective content here? Okay, what is happening over here? Now, I will have one non-static block. See? So here I will write it as sysout, okay, initializing, okay, initializing ID to 10 here. Okay, initializing ID to 10. So here I'll write ID equals to 10 over here. Okay. Now can you quickly tell me what will be the output here? Sir, first of all, okay, see here, what will happen guys? See, the execution always starts from my main method. There is no static properties at all. So it will never get loaded. So it's all about non-static. So once when I create an object, okay, once when I create an object here, what will happen here? Sir, the ID will get initialized to the default value 0. It will get initialized to the default value 0. And then since we created an object, first what happened? The non-static variable got initialized to 0 and simultaneously the instance block, the non-static block will get executed, initializing ID to 10. So what happens? This 10 will get stored into the variable called as ID that will get initialized to 10. After the non-static variable got loaded, the non-static block got loaded here, and when I try to print the ID here, it will always be, 10 here. See, initializing ID to 10 and it is 10 here. Simultaneously, okay, if I try to do this, what will be the expected output now? See, I just write it as 20 and 20 here. So now what happens? Sir, execution begins from main method, sir. Common sense. When I create an object, rule 1, the non-static variable will get loaded. So this ID will get loaded to the default value 0. And then, sir, we have non-static block also, sir. Therefore, this non-static block will get executed, initializing ID to 10, and the ID will get initialized to 10 here. And do we have one more non-static block? Yes, yes, yes. Therefore, this non-static block will also get executed. So what will be the output? Initializing ID to 10 here, 20 here, and the 20 will get stored into ID. Therefore, now id from 10, it got initialized to 20. Now all the things have happened once the object also got created. When I tell e dot id, what will be the respective output? The respective output will be 20 because the lastly allocated output was 20. So I got the output as 20. So therefore, this is one way of understanding the data. I just remove this print statement, so wherein the ID will get initialized to the respective value called as 20. Very good. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand the working of static and non-static. See, when I go back over here, okay, see, look at the specifications of non-static block. What is non-static block? Non-static block are a set of instructions used for initializing static and non-static. Okay, we can initialize static variables also with the help of non-static block, but it's not a good practice. Okay, static blocks, static variables. Non-static blocks, non-static variables. That's it. But is it possible? Yeah, possible. Okay, now, and then we know the syntax. A block without a name, it's non-static block. And non-static blocks always get executed when? During object creation. And what if I have multiple non-static blocks? Yeah, it will happen in a sequential manner. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to blocks here. Okay, so now I go back to the perspective here. Okay, I'll just explain the code here. Okay, I'll just explain this representation. See, this is a very, very important question. Okay, generally they'll ask in probably the basic interviews here. Okay, so whenever we talk about block, it's a set of instruction used for initialization. Correct? Static blocks are used to initialize static variables, and this is the particular syntax. And static block gets executed before main method, that is during class loading time. What if I have multiple static blocks? Thus execution will happen in sequence. And what is the another type of block? It is non-static block, which can be also called as instance block. And static blocks can be used to initialize static variables also and non-static variables also. We can initialize both static and non-static, but generally we use it for non-static. Okay. And when does the non-static block gets executed? During object creation. During object creation here, simultaneously the non-static blocks will get executed. And the execution, if I have multiple non-static blocks, the execution will always happen in sequential manner. Got the clarity here? Okay. And then how do we write the syntax here? Open curly braces close without any name is called as non-static block. Okay. So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to, the respective blocks here. Got it? I hope you got the basic idea about this entire part here. Okay. Now here, okay, since we got this clarity here, let me execute a program wherein I can combine both. Okay, I can combine both the things and make sure you'll all understand. Okay, Control N, I will create a class and the class name is car. Okay, I'll create the class name as car. Okay, now, so you have to be very careful now. Okay, so apply common sense and answer. Okay, now, apply common sense and then answer. Okay, so here I will create static block. Okay, here I'll just print 1. Okay, I'll have one okay, so here one non-static block. I'll try to print 2 here. Okay, so now when I execute it, I'll print 3 here. Can you tell me what will be the output? Now it's nice, no? It's tricky, no? Now you have to predict the output. Think and tell me, everyone. Analyze and tell me, okay? Apply common sense. Okay, now. Output, output, output. Tell me, tell me. Okay, I got a couple of answers here. Okay, let us see, let us see. Okay, okay, great, 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 great. Okay, so still many, many, many of you have given me wrong answers. Okay, so it's fine here, but apply common sense here. Sir, what is it, sir? My execution will always start from main method. Correct? My execution will always start from main method. Perfect. Now, if there is a static block, that will get executed even before main method. Correct? Even before the main method, the static block will get executed. Therefore, This static block get executed first, the output will be 1. And then there is non-static block. The non-static block will get executed only when we create an object. Have I created any object? No. Therefore, just main method execution will start. 1 will get executed because it's a static block, and then 3 here. So the output will be 1 and 3. Okay, let us see if I'm getting the same output. Did I get the same output 1, 3 here? Absolutely yes. Okay. Now here, apply common sense. Demo D equals to new demo of. Guys, now at least can you predict the output? What will be the output now? Think and tell, apply common sense. Think and tell me the output. Okay, so a few of them have given, okay. So I've got some output here. Okay, see here, look at the output what I get here. See, look at the output what I get here. Oh, I just a moment here. Oh, I'm so sorry guys. I've created an object of demo. I'm so sorry. Okay. So yeah, now car because I'm creating an object of car, no, and this non-static block is present in car, right? I'm so sorry. I created an object of demo. I just forgot. Okay. Yeah. Now, so now when I execute the output here, just look here. I get the output as 132. Okay. How do I get it as 132, sir? The execution will always begin from main method, sir. But if there is a static block, that will get executed first, sir. Therefore, 1 will get executed. Why? Because it's a static block. And static block will get executed even before main method. After the static block is executed, the control comes to main method. So 3 will get printed. And then I have created an object. Therefore, during object creation, the non-static block will get executed. Therefore, the output will be 132 here. Okay. What if I create an object first? What if I create an object first and print later? So you would have you will be able to predict it now, correct? It will be 1, 2, 3. Common sense, no, sir. The execution starts from main method because if we have a static block that will get executed first, 1 will get executed. I created an object, simultaneously the non-static block 2 will get executed, and then finally 3 here. Got the clarity, guys? So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to static and non-static. Clear? Everyone understood? Do you want me to explain it again? Everyone understood? Okay, so there is one, yeah, understood. Great. Okay, there is one question here. Okay, the question is in student class. Okay, static example. If I try to sit after age, right after age declaration. Correct. So now there is one more good question actually speaking. Okay, now here I'll have a class. Okay, and imagine that is I'll just take the class name as I'll just write it as pen. Okay, now here, sir, I will write one print statement here, system.out.println. Okay, println. I'll just write it as hi. It's giving an error, huge error. Why? Because print statement can never ever be returned directly within a class because internally there is something called as has a relationship, all those things. Okay, always understand the print statement can never ever be returned directly within a class. Okay, so therefore we should always have a block in order to write the print statement. So you should at least have a main method to write it, or you should at least have a block to write it. Okay, at least you should have a static block to write it here. Okay, now, so this is the syntax. We cannot have the print statement directly written inside a class. We cannot do it, but we need to have some set of blocks here. Within that only we can write the print statement directly. No matter what, we cannot write it. Got the clarity here? See, if I just write print statement over here, it will just give an error. See, it's just giving an error. Why? Print statement can never ever be written inside a class directly. There should be a block, only then it can be written. Clear? That's a common sense question. Yeah, very good question actually speaking. Okay, because this generally, trust me here. Okay, when I was in my engineering, okay, when I had to attend a couple of interviews, right, this was the mistake I did here. Okay, they gave me some assignment in order to crack an interview. So I didn't know Java back then. I was very not even 30-40% of Java I knew. Okay, because what I did was I just wrote that they told me some program. I directly wrote a class and I wrote print statement. The interviewer told me, "Are you sure is this program valid?" I was confident. Okay, I told yes, yes, yes. He told me to execute it. Okay, I executed it, gave me an error. Then I asked him, no, it's giving an error here. He told, okay, you can never ever write, print statement within the block. That was a thing wherein I got to know. That is when I came back and I did research here. That is when I got to know, yes, we cannot write a print statement within a class directly. Okay. So this is what we are supposed to understand. Correct. There is one more question. Are non-static blocks are property of objects? Absolutely yes. Static belongs to the class always. Non-static always belongs to the object. But we don't consider as a property. Okay, we don't consider it as a property because it's just doing some task. Okay, when we talk about states and behaviors, they are attributes. Okay, but non-static blocks, it's just performing some task here. Okay, we don't consider it as exact property of objects here, but variables are properties. Okay, they are assets. Okay, in order to initialize them, we are making use of blocks. Helping. Okay, helping hand is the blocks here. Okay, this is what we are supposed to understand. Okay, I hope we all got the clarity about what is static and what is non-static. Clear? Great, guys. Now I'll do one more similar type of program here. Okay, so you have to just understand one thing. Int x equals to 10. Okay, so now it's fun. Okay, it's fun here, which you need to understand. Okay, I know majority of you will go wrong again here. Okay, so here I will tell you. Don't worry. I will tell you here. I will have my main method, and I'll tell x here, x equals to 30. Right, guys. Okay, what will be the output? Tricky, no? Huh? That's why I gave. That's why I have written it. It's tricky, I know. Huh? That's why. Tell me. What will be the output? There's only one print statement. Okay, I'll give you the hint. It has to be either 10, 20, or 30. Out of these three, one output you will get. Okay, 10, 20, 30. Okay, you'll get only one output. Is it 10 or 20 or 30? Okay. See here, when I execute it here, okay, I got the output as 20. Oh my God, how are you surprised? I'll tell you, sir, when you execute the program, the static variable will get loaded. Therefore, the x will get initialized to what? It will get initialized to 10. Correct? And simultaneously, the static block also will get executed. So x value will become 20. So from 10, it became 20. Got the clarity here? That's it. After that, the control comes x value. What is x value? 20. It's a static variable. I can access it directly. But sir, the non-static block did not get executed yet. Why? Because I have not created an object yet. That's the reason. So therefore, when I create an object, demo d equals to new demo of. Now can you tell me what will be the object? Now can you tell me what will be the output here? Is it 10, 20 or 30? There is only one print statement. How can I get two outputs? There is only one print statement. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry again, guys. I'm so sorry. Pen is the object. I'm so sorry. Oh, something. I'm just obsessed about the word demo. Okay. I should create an object of pen here. Okay. Thank you, Arpita. Yeah. Great. Okay. So what should be the output now? Okay, great. See, now when I execute it over here, I get the output as 30. Why, sir? I will tell you. See, first when I create the execution starts from main method. When I create an object of pen here, sorry. The execution starts from main method. The static variable x will get loaded to 10, and then the static block x equals to 20, and then the control comes back. I have created an object of pen. Therefore, the non-static block, see, non-static blocks can also initialize static variables. So 30 will get initialized into x here. So therefore, what will happen? 30 will get printed. Now, when I try to print x here, what is the lastly allocated value? It is 30. So therefore, I will get the output as 30 here. Clear? I hope you all got the clarity about what is static and what is non-static. Okay, so this is all about the entire process, guys. I hope you all got the clarity about what is static blocks and what is non-static blocks. So this is very simple concept here. Okay, blocks are used for initialization. Static blocks used for initializing static variables. Non-static block used for initializing non-static variables. Okay, and can we have multiple static and non-static blocks? Yes. Execution happens in sequential manner. Static blocks will get executed before main method during class loading time. Non-static block during object creation. This is all about blocks. Clear? Now tell me, do you all have any confusion, or can we go ahead with the next topic, the next concept here? Okay. Any confusions, anyone, or can we go ahead with the next topic? Okay, perfect, guys. Okay, so great. Okay, so we shall go ahead with the next topic. Okay, and the topic which I will be doing now, okay, is a very important topic for your interview perspective, okay, as well as your knowledge perspective. Okay, so what is the topic? Okay, what is the topic we are going to understand? Okay, so concentrate. Okay, concentrate. This is again one of my favorite topics. Okay, and everyone should be knowing. You should all understand what is JDK. Okay, so you should understand what is JDK. Then you need to understand what is JRE, and you should also understand someone called as JVM. Okay, so these are the few things which we are supposed to understand. So let us talk about it in detail here. Okay, let us talk about it in detail. So now guys, okay, what I'll do here is, okay, imagine, just a moment. This is JDK. Okay. What is the abbreviation of JDK? JDK stands for, okay, Java Development Kit. Okay. What is the abbreviation of JDK? JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Okay. In an interview, okay, when I take interview for test Yantra, okay, so what happens, as soon as I ask what is JDK, everyone starts giving me the abbreviation. Sir, JDK means Java Development Kit, as if I didn't know. Okay. I wanted the meaning, I didn't want the abbreviation of it, I didn't want the full form of it. I wanted what is JDK. They'll immediately tell Java Development Kit. I'll be like, okay, JDK, full form is JDK, but what is JDK? They will not answer. So in simple terms here, JDK is Java Development Kit. It's a software. What is JDK? It's a software, okay, which contains all the resources for developing a Java program and executing a Java program. So once you download the JDK and install the JDK in your laptop, you can develop Java programs as well as execute Java programs. So what is JDK? JDK is a software which contains all the requirements or resources which is necessary for developing and executing Java programs. Got it? Under JDK, we have two people. Okay. So one is someone called as, okay, JRE. Okay. Under JDK, we have a person and that person is called as JRE. What is the abbreviation of JRE? The abbreviation of JRE is Java Runtime Environment. What is the abbreviation of JRE? JRE abbreviation is Java Runtime Environment. Again, Java Runtime Environment is a software. Okay, JRE is a software which provides a platform wherein I can execute my Java programs. Okay, see here, if you have JDK, Java Development Kit meaning you can develop and execute. Java Runtime Environment, JRE, meaning it provides a platform only for execution purpose. So what is JRE? JRE is Java Runtime Environment. It's a software which provides a platform only for executing Java programs. Okay, where the Java programs can get executed? No, it just provides a platform. That is called as JRE. Okay, and it also contains all the development tools and whatever is necessary. Okay, whatever tools is required, okay, that is nothing but development development tools and libraries are present over here, such as we require compiler, we require interpreter, we require libraries, java.util, all those. Okay, whatever is necessary for development is present, and whatever is used for executing runtime, it is present inside the JDK. Got the clarity? I hope you got the clarity about, okay, what is JDK, GRE, and development tools. Development tools meaning whatever is necessary for developing perspective. Okay, okay, this is present, as well as the libraries, whatever is predefined. Okay, it is also present here. Got it? Understood? Within this GRE, again there are four people residing. Okay, and the first person is called as JIT compiler. Okay, what is the first person called as? The first person is called as JIT compiler. Second person is called as, okay, class loader. Okay, and the third person is called as interpreter. Guys, I'm going a bit in detail here because I want you all to understand completely. And the fourth person is called as JVM. So this is the architecture here. Okay, now what is this JIT compiler, sir? Okay, JIT stands for just in time compiler. Okay, what is this JIT stands for? JIT stands for just in time compiler here. Okay, what is the job of JIT here? See, I have written all those over here. Okay, so now when I talk about this, see JDK GRE here. Okay, this is what about it. See, what is JIT here? Just in time compiler. What he does here? See, I will write my Java program in high level language, correct? I will write my Java program in high level language. There must be someone who will convert the high level language to machine level language here. Correct, no, because my system will always understand zeros and ones. There must be a person, no? So the JIT compiler is the one responsible for converting high level language to machine understandable language. That is the job of JIT compiler. Okay, now done. Then who is this class loader, sir? Who is this class loader, sir? Class loader is a person. See, my Java program which I store here, it is stored in my secondary storage device on my hard disk. Correct? C drive, D drive, desktop. My Java program is stored somewhere over here. So the class loader is the one who loads the class from the secondary storage to the executable area. See, my Java program is somewhere stored in my desktop, correct? In my laptop, in some drive, some hard disk, it is stored. Okay. From here, who will get the Java program to the executable area where the Java program can get executed? The person name is class loader. The class loader will load the class from secondary storage to executable area. For example, see here, you have parked your car inside the basement. Okay, you stay in the 10th floor. Okay, imagine there's an apartment. You stay in the 10th floor, and your car is parked in the basement here. So it's parked here. But if you want to drive the car, if you want to go somewhere here, you have to take out the car on the road. Correct? That is when you can drive the car. Similarly, there is a person called as class loader who will load the class from the secondary storage to the executable area. Meaning your Java program is stored somewhere in your C drive, E drive, no. So that has to be taken to the executable area where the program can get executed. So he is responsible for it. Okay. And who is the interpreter? What is the job of interpreter? After everything is done, line by line, line by line, line by line, the execution should happen. No. Who will take care of it? Interpreter will interpret the bytecode, meaning he'll interpret one by one, one by one, one by one, he will interpret it. Got the clarity here? This is what we are supposed to understand. And what is this JVM here? What is this JVM here? JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. What is this JVM stands for? JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. Okay. And he is the manager of the GRE. Okay. So now he's responsible? Oh, JIT compiler, convert the bytecode into, see, I mean the high level language to machine level language. Correct? So he's the one, oh, sorry, guys. Okay. So in this process here, see, he converts the high level language. So JIT compiler, whatever program I write it, okay, the high level language, he will convert it to machine level language. Okay. So who will take care of it? Okay, the JVM will take care of it. He'll tell a JIT compiler, please convert. Okay. And there is someone called as class loader who will load the class from the secondary storage to executable area. So the JVM will tell, hey, class loader, please load the class here. Okay. And what is the job of interpreter? interprets the code here. You know, whatever program I have, line by line, execution should happen, right? Who will take care of it? Interpreter. And who is the manager of this entire process? It's the JVM. Okay, this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to JDK and all those requirements here. Okay, now, got the clarity? So what is JDK? JDK is Java Development Kit. It's a software. Once I download and install that particular software, I can develop and execute Java programs. Okay, so JDK is a software which contains all the resources for developing and executing Java programs. Okay, now, and then what is Java JRE? Java Runtime Environment. So now my Java program has to get executed in on platform. No, he has to provide one environment, right? So GRE provides an environment or a platform wherein my Java programs can get executed. Okay. And what is JIT compiler? Just in time compiler. He is the one who compiles or converts the high level language, the program whichever I write into machine level language, in the machine understandable language. He's responsible. And class loader, I told you, know, my Java programs are physically existing on my hard disk. That secondary storage, you know, the program from the secondary storage has to get loaded to executable area where the programs can get executed. Who will load it? Class loader. And what is the job of interpreter? Line by line, line by line, line by line execution should happen. Okay. And who will manage everyone then? So these are the employees. JIT compiler, class loader, interpreter are the employees. Who will manage them? JVM. So JVM is the manager of the JRE. He's going to manage the proceedings. Oh, what should happen? What should not happen? He will take care. This is what we are supposed to understand here. Clear? As developers here, we will develop also, execute also. So we have to download and install the JDK here. Got it? So these are the few things which we are supposed to understand. Got it right? Okay, we need to understand what is JDK, JRE, JIT compiler, class loader, interpreter, and JVM. Okay, once we understand, yeah, it becomes a very easy process in order to understand the proceedings. Clear, guys? Now tell me, do you all have any confusions here? Anyone having any confusions here? Okay, great. Okay, so this is just the basic things which we need to understand over here. Okay, now, here, then there's one confusion here. Okay, is Eclipse JDK? No, Eclipse is an IDE. We call Eclipse as, okay, we call this as what? IDE. Okay, what is IDE? IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. Okay, so now here it's an editor. In simple terms, Eclipse is an editor wherein everything is pre-installed over here. Okay, pre-installed meaning I would have installed JDK in my program, no, in my system, right? So it will take the path here automatically. Okay, so now what is this Eclipse? It's an IDE. So Notepad is an editor, basic editor here. So Notepad is one basic editor. Okay, basic editor. Okay, so now if I want to develop a Java program, no, initially I made use of Notepad and Notepad here. Everything I have to do it manually. Okay, I have to develop, you know, I have to save it, I have to compile, interpret. Everything was supposed to be done basic, everything manually. But in Eclipse here, since it's integrated development environment, meaning it's an editor wherein a lot of things will be done automatically. Okay, advanced level. See, in order to compile, I don't have to write the command. In order to execute, I don't have to write the command. Okay, automatically it will happen. And I don't have to open my command prompt to check the output here. It has its own dedicated console here. Okay, so integrated meaning, so this development tools, okay, this JRE, JVM, everything is present inside this Eclipse here. Okay, so it's not a software. JDK is a separate software which we need to download and install it, wherein we can develop Java programs here. But Eclipse is just an editor. Okay, it's an integrated development environment, meaning it's the, you know, supermost editor you can tell. Okay, it's the advanced editor wherein developing will become easy for me. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand. Got it? I hope you all got the clarity about this entire process here. Okay, but I'm not yet done here. Okay, I just have one more small topic here. Okay, what is this, sir? I will tell you in the most beautiful manner. Okay, just concentrate, guys. Okay, just concentrate here. Okay, so what is the topic, sir? Okay, I am going to talk about something called as JVM architecture. Okay, what am I going to talk about? I am going to talk about the JVM architecture. What are the memory locations that we have with respect to Java here? Okay. Now, what I do, see here, I will develop a class. Okay, see, just concentrate for one program here. Okay, that's more than sufficient. If you have a class, and the class name is demo. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. Done. Now I will have one variable. See, static, okay, static int x equals to 10. This is a static variable. Looking at the program, I can easily tell. Correct? And I'll also have one non-static variable. Int y equals to 20. So easily we can differentiate between a static variable and a non-static variable. Sir, if a variable is declared using static keyword, it's a static variable. If a variable is declared using no static keyword, it's a non-static variable. Similarly, I will have one method. See, static method. Static void m1 method. Okay, open curly braces close, and I will just write one line of implementation, that is SOP high. Okay, I'll just write it as SOP high. And I'll also have one more method here. Okay, one more method, that is a non-static method, that is void m2 open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. And again, I'll have one line of implementation, that is SOP by here. Okay, this is all about it, guys. Okay, this is all about the entire process. Okay, now imagine I have my main method. Okay, I have my main method wherein the execution will always begin from. Correct. Okay, execution will always begin from. Right. So now here, first of all, understand, closely observe. When I execute my Java program, okay, so there is something called as static variables and static methods here. I am trying to print it. See, system.out.print. I am trying to print a static variable and I am calling the static method because static variables can be accessed directly within the same class. So now what happens, there is something called as class area. Okay, what is that? There is something called as class area. Correct? This is nothing but class area, or we also call it as static pool here. Okay, and what is the name of the class area? It's demo. Why? Because I am going to load all the static properties of class demo here. So once I execute my Java program, the class loader, okay, will load all the static properties into the memory. So there is a static variable x, he will load that first. X will get initialized to the value called as 10 here. He will initialize to the value called as 10 here. Done. And one more static method should also get loaded. Void, okay, m1. It is pointing to some address 0x1. Okay, it is pointing to what? It is pointing to some address 0x1 wherein the implementation is stored. That is SOP high here. Okay, now this is what we are supposed to understand. Okay, so this is nothing but method area and this is nothing but the method area. Done. After that, it is pointing to some address 0x1. Clear? So this is called as method area, where the method implementations are stored here. Got it? All the static properties got loaded within the memory now. So what happened here? Class area or static pool is a memory location wherein the static properties are loaded. See, x is a static variable and it is initialized to the value 10. And there is a method called as m1 method. It is pointing to some address 0x1 wherein the implementation is stored here. So method area is a location wherein the method implementations are stored here. But what about non-static? Sir, we haven't created an object yet, sir. So therefore, what happens here? Non-static properties will not get loaded. I will create an object. See, I will create an object. Demo D equals to new demo of. I create an object of demo. Now what happens here? There is a memory location. Okay. What is that memory location called as? That memory location is called as heap area. Heap area is a location wherein the objects are generally created. Where the objects are created? Inside a memory location called as heap area. When I tell new, an object will get created with the address D here. Okay, with the address D here. Now all the non-static properties should get loaded. So which is the non-static property? It's Y. Y will get initialized to the value 20 and it also has a non-static method, that is M2. Okay, M2 method, and that will also point. Okay, wait just a moment. Void, okay, M2, it will point to some address 0x2 wherein the implementation is stored here, wherein the implementation is generally stored here. Just a moment guys, just a moment. Okay, yeah, I'm back here. Okay, so this is pointing to, okay, some address 0x2. Okay, it is pointing to some address 0x2 wherein the implementation is stored here. Okay, just a moment. I'll explain it, guys. Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna explain it in a beautiful manner here. So just concentrate. Okay, here SOP, by is stored here. Clear? This is all about it. This is all about the entire data. If I want to print, I will tell SOP D dot Y or I'll tell D dot M2 method. That's it. Non-static. Got the clarity here? If you just go back to the process here, the JVM architecture. See, heap area is a memory location wherein the objects get created inside the heap area. And class area or static pool is a memory location where all the static members would get loaded there. And method area is wherein the implementation of the methods, the implementation of the methods are stored here. Got it? What is stack and native area? I'll tell you. Okay, what is stack and native area? I'll tell you here. Okay, got the clarity, guys? So I have a class. All the static properties are loaded inside a memory location called as class area. And x is pointing to 10 and m1 is pointing to some address 0x1 in the method area where the implementation is stored. Correct? And then when I create an object here, objects will get created within heap area. Okay, and here the non-static property y and m2 method. Y got loaded to the value 20 and m2 method is pointing to some address 0x2 wherein the implementation of that method is stored. That is present in method area. Okay, and the execution will always happen inside a stack. And what is the working of a stack? I will tell you here. Don't worry about it. Okay, so these are the few things which we are supposed to understand when it comes to the program here. Got the clarity here? This is all about the process here. Clear everyone here? Okay, anyone having any confusion, guys, with the working of it? Method area, class area, heap area? Stack, I'll talk about it. Apart from this, any confusions here? Any confusions? Quickly tell me. Guys, any questions? Everyone understood the process here? Okay, great, great. Okay, so now here, okay, since we understood this entire process here and everything, guys, the execution will always happen on RAM here. Okay, you know, right? In the system here, there is always RAM, ROM, right? The execution will always happen in a RAM here. That's the reason we tell RAM speed should be high. Okay, 4 GB, 8 GB, 12 GB, 16 GB. Why do we go for higher configuration here? Because once we make use of larger programs here, there shouldn't be any problem. That's the reason we always go for size, variants here. Okay, for a bigger size. Okay, this is all about it. And what is stack here? Okay, I will talk about it. Okay, see here, if I have my Java program, stack is the location wherein the execution will always happen. See, I have a class called as a. Okay, now within that class I will have one method, static, okay, void m1 method. Okay, m1 method. So here I will write SOP1 here. Okay, and here I'll have my main method. Okay, I'll have my main method. How? Public static void main string array of arguments, open curly braces, close. Okay, so here I'll give the implementation as SOP start. Okay, I will call the M1 method and I'll tell SOP end over here. I will call the SOP end. So now the execution will always happen inside a stack, no? Okay, the execution will always happen inside a stack. Okay, so now here inside a stack here, wherein the execution will always begin from, the execution will always begin from our main method. This is my main method wherein the execution will begin from. Correct? So what are the three lines of implementation it has? SOP start. Okay, I will call the M1 method and SOP and I will call the end here. This is all about it. So internally what will happen here? The execution starts from start, no, SOP start. So start will get printed and then M1 method. I am calling the M1 method. So once I call the M1 method, upon that the M1 method will get called here. And what is this? When this M1 method will get called, what is the output here it has to print? SOP1. Correct. So 1 will get printed. Okay, 1 will get printed. After the execution is done, no, automatically the control will come back here. It's like push. There is a stack, and once you keep on adding the elements here, it's called push, and the pop meaning the elements comes out. Push meaning adding, pop meaning removing. Once you call the method will call. The execution will happen, and the control will come back to the caller. And what is the next line here? End. So end will get executed. So this is called as the basic working of stack here. One upon one, one upon one, one upon one, it keeps on calling here. Got the clarity here? Understood everyone? So stack meaning this is wherein the execution will always happen from. Okay. Now in this program here, let me do one complete program. Okay. So I'll just take the class name as test here. Test is there. I'll take the class name as runner. Okay. Now here you have to concentrate here for one moment. Static void m1 method. Okay, so I will just write it as, okay, just a moment guys, let me develop the program here so that you can understand in a beautiful manner. Okay, sys out, I will just write it as, okay, sys out, I'll just write it as hi. Okay, I'll call int result equals to m2 method. Okay, and here I will write it as sys out by plus result. Okay, by plus result, and then here I will also have one more method, void m2 method. Okay, so I just tell return 20. Okay, so here this is also a static method. Okay, so and here I'll have my main method wherein the execution will always begin from. So here I will just write it as sysout start, and I'll call m1 method and sysout end here, and here the return type will be int here. Okay, now great. I'm done with my program part. Okay, I'm done with my program part. So now here when I execute it, what will be the expected output is what we are supposed to see. So now here I will execute it with respect to one stack diagram here. Okay, so that you can understand on the code as well as I'll be executing it over here. Okay, so both the things you can just analyze and get to know it. Okay, simultaneously. Okay, so just guys, in this specific program here, okay, execution will always happen inside a stack, no? Okay, there is always something called a stack. Okay, stack is wherein the execution will always happen from. Okay, now this is nothing but stack. Okay, and then here wait, this is for main method, this is for m1, and this is for m2. Yeah, sufficient. Okay, now we're done with this entire process. Now generally the execution will always happen where the execution will always happen from the main method. Public static void main, this is wherein the execution starts. Within the main method, what is the lines of implementation? So it is like SOP, I have written it as start, correct? Then I'm calling M1 method and SOP, and the output is end here. So what happens initially? Start will get executed, correct? This line will get executed. And now when I try to call the M1 method, the M1 method will get called here. Okay, M1 method will get called. Now, what is the lines of implementation in the M1 method? So it is doing certain set of things. SOP, it is printing hi, okay, and at the last it is printing SOP by, gives a space, plus result here. Okay, so here it is storing the result over here. Result equals to M2 of. Okay now. So now what happens next here? Start got executed. I call the M1 method. Hi will get printed here. And now when I tell M2 of, I am calling one more method. Which method? M2 of. Okay. I call the M2 of method. And what is the implementation of the M2 method? It is telling return 20. So when I tell return 20, the control will come back to the caller and he will give 20. The 20 is stored into result here. Okay, what is the result value? 20. Then next, what is the line here? By 20. So by 20 will get printed. After the execution has happened, automatically the control will come back to the caller. And next here, end here. Start, high, by 20, end. This should be my output here. So when I execute my program, just look at the output. Will I get the same output? See, start, high, by 20, end here. So this is how we are supposed to understand. See, start got executed, no. Then I call M1 method. I call the M1 method, high will get printed. M2 of meaning, I call the M2 method. Return 20 meaning, I am explicitly transferring the control back to the caller with the value 20. So 20 is returned here. The 20 return value is stored into result. And what is the next line? By 20. Once the execution has happened, you write return, you don't write return, the destack will happen automatically. The control will come back to the caller. And what is the next line? End here. So this is the stack diagram which you need to understand. I've written the most ugliest way possible here, but I hope I have explained the concept here. Okay, this is what we are supposed to understand. Everyone got the clarity about the working of a stack diagram also? Okay, so anyone having any confusions, guys? Okay, whatever we did now, anyone having any confusions here, quickly tell me so that we can cross check with the content here. Any confusions in today's session, guys? Anyone? Okay, so there is one question. What is the difference between static area and stack area? Okay, it's different things. Both are two completely different things here. Okay, see here. See, if there is a method, okay, the method should get executed somewhere, right? See, you will have a static variable. Okay, static variable, you will have a static method. So static properties will get loaded inside a memory location called as static area. The name itself is telling static area, meaning all the static properties will get loaded. And stack is nothing but, see, execution is all about methods, no? Hook or crook, if you want to execute a class here, Java program, you want main method. So main method is like each and every time. See, main method is over here. Main method will call the display method. Display method will call the M2 method. M2 method will call the M1 method. After it got executed, he comes back, he comes back, he comes back. The execution of a Java program, okay, the execution, okay, always happened inside a stack. But the stack area is a process wherein the memory is loaded. Static properties are loaded. That's it. It is stored over there. Correct. And heap area is wherein the objects are stored. That's it. And the method area is wherein the method implementations are stored. So stack area, static properties are stored. Heap area, non-static properties are stored. Method area, what is it? Method implementation is stored. But ultimately, Java program has to get executed. No, where will the execution happen? Inside a stack. So the execution will always happen inside a stack here. Got it? I hope you got the clarity now. Right? Perfect. Anything apart from this, guys? Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is all about it. And native area, you don't require it as of now, because once you combine two languages here, okay, once you combine two languages and try to get a, try to develop something, that is when the native area will come in place. Okay, for creating Android applications, keeping the same logic, something like that. Okay, so you can ignore native area. This is for larger perspective. Okay, so okay, correct. So there is one question. These are all the different parts of the RAM here, not specifically RAM. It's once you download and install JDK, no, So it is the specifications on the JDK. Okay, on the JDK meaning the JVM architecture. It is divided based on that part. It's not that always it will have that. Okay, so everything, the execution will always happen on the RAM only. Okay, so these are the different parts of JVM. But once you download JDK, JVM will be there, no? JRE will be there, no? So these all will occupy space on the RAM only. Okay. Perfect, guys. Okay, so we're done with it. Okay, so and I had a few questions to tell here. Okay, so what are those? I'll tell you here. Okay, so the first one is see, guys, your Java session is happening on GoToMeeting. Okay, your Java session is happening on GoToMeeting. So this is a separate application, and your aptitude session is happening on GoToWebinar. Okay, so GoToWebinar meaning it's again a separate application. So if you're making use of phone here, Android phones or smartphone, any smartphone here, Java session is GoToMeeting. See on the top, you'll understand it's GoToMeeting, and aptitude is GoToWebinar. Webinar is different, GoToMeeting is different. So different IDs cannot be used over here. Okay, so these are the few things which we have started here. Okay, so try to attend the session. Once you start attending the session, you can quickly start attending the interviews as well. So for that reason, you need to understand. Clear? Perfect. Okay. So great, guys. Okay, so we're done with it. If you have any questions here, don't hesitate here. Okay, so try to drop me a message on the WhatsApp here. Once I'm free here, I'll try to reply to you all. Okay, so great, guys. Okay, so we shall wind up a session for today and catch up tomorrow here. Okay, so thank you all. Take care. Bye bye.